Hi folks, this is Vint with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out Survival Fountain of Youth. This is a game that you can find on Steam's Early Access program for about $23 or so, and I stress early access. That means everything that you're about to see here is most definitely subject to change. Now, I am not going to review this game at this point in time, mainly because, well, it's impossible to play the game for 5 hours, which I've done, and give it a full review. It's like trying to review The Long Dark. It's one of those very lengthy survival games, and you need to spend a lot more than 5 hours playing a game like this in order to fully review it, in my opinion. And there's just a lot of exploration that needs to be done, there's a lot more crafting, and a lot of more things that I have to unlock. So it's just, I'll give it a first impressions and that's it. So what is going on here? Well, essentially, you are sort of following in the shoes of, well, other captains that have come before you that are looking for the Fountain of Youth. You will have shipwrecked as a 16th century explorer, and your job is to, well, survive. You're going to be trying to make use of the land around you. You're going to be trying to provide cover for yourself, the basic necessities. Truth be told, I have not seen any other crew members from my shipwreck yet. Whether or not they're in the game, I don't know. I haven't gotten that far. I've been too busy just trying to figure out the game and its nuances. You start off the game with a quick beat up the little enemy dog on the ship, and then you're treated to a scene where your ship is on fire, pretty much, and you have a choice to make right from the beginning of the game. You are allowed to take 3 items with you. Now, I don't know if that changes based on difficulty. There are a number of different difficulty settings available for this game. You can make it very easy or more difficult. It's completely up to you. I chose the easy setting. I didn't want it too easy, but I didn't want it like normal either. I kind of wanted an in-between, between super easy and normal. But anyway, the 3 items that I ended up taking was a backpack and a dagger and a flintstone. Not Fred or Wilma, no, from the Flintstones. That's a joke you kids will never get. I've never used it once. Neither have I used my dagger. Once you land on the island, you'll be able to, well, the tutorial will just tell you how to craft the basic tools. So, like, if you are thinking about bringing a spear with you, well, the game is going to make you craft a spear within the first 5 minutes anyway. Whether or not you just want an improved version of it for a while, that's completely up to you. But you'll soon realize that this game is very much like The Long Dark in the sense that everything that you do, well, I'd say 80% of it, is menus. So if you want to start a fire, you have to select a tinder, the type of wood that you want to burn. If you want to cook something, you interact with a menu. If you want to get coconut from a tree or leaves from a tree or whatever, then you have a menu to interact with. You wait a period of time and you collect these things, assuming that you're not interrupted by a scorpion or something like that, which has happened to me countless times. But if you've played The Long Dark before, this game is very similar to that. So you'll expect a lot of menu interaction. I don't know how I feel about that. I have 50 plus hours in The Long Dark at this point, and yeah, I mean, it doesn't bother me too much, but it may bother other people that are used to, say, Ark or something like that. Another big similarity is that you'll be using charcoal or whatever to map out the environment. You'll find these cartography trees around the map. You climb them, assuming you've got rope. And then you can map the immediate area. Now, I will note that you do not need to climb a cartographer tree to map out the island. The height in which you're standing will determine the radius that is revealed. So if you're high up, the mapping range will be very large. If you're like on the beach on the very low levels, like sea level, you're not, the mapping area, you're going to waste the charcoal for nothing. So you want to be like high up on a mountain. If you can't find a cartography tree nearby, you'll want to like get up on a rock or something, get high up, and then use the mapping tool in the options menu or in the menu there in order to reveal more stuff. Eventually, once I survived the near-death experience with some poisonous snakes, I found the grotto that the game asked me to find. It's on the beach, but I won't spoil more than that. It's that much is already in the paper that you get. But you'll get like a broken down rainwater thing. You just dismantle that, and then that'll let you craft a new one, which collects water for you whenever it rains. You will have to clear this cave, this grotto of scorpions, and I will, just as a quick note, kill those scorpions and save their corpses. You can make anti-venom with those corpses, and you need, I think, giant leaves to go along with that recipe. That is a lifesaver. I almost died from snake bites. So I had to, once I found a bunch of scorpions in this cave, I was on my deathbed. And I killed these things at the last minute, and I was healed. I crafted myself some anti-venom. Worth mentioning, there's an extensive crafting system in this game, and crafting at night actually has a chance of injury. There's also various status effects you'll have to deal with, being soaked, sunburned, poisoning. Having a near-death experience will actually lower your maximum health. You have to find these Fountain of Youth bottles that are scattered around the map, and that will eliminate those max health penalties. Keeping your food and your water, your thirst, full, so that you're fully satiated. That is good as well. That'll give you some passive buffs. By taking various kinds of medicines, you'll be able to combat the illnesses that you get. Because if you don't treat Sunburned 1 or Poisoned 1, and RNG is bad, like 15% chance to get bad, well, it can turn into 2, then 3, then 4, then so on. So you want to take care of those ailments as soon as possible. There's also a character tab. There are survival points in this game, and as you find, I guess, murals or other things in the map, you'll gain these survival points. And you can also, there's survival tasks that you can complete. And in crafting these things, you will be able to unlock passive benefits for yourself. Like in other survival games, the more you do something, cooking, skinning, throwing, shooting, strength, whatever, you will gain better buffs. So fire starting bonuses will continue to grow as you light more fires. That's kind of cool. Combat in this game is fairly fluid. There's a block button that you'll want to use extensively, and I'd say just stick with the spear for your original weapon. It hasn't done me wrong. Just make sure you've got the materials necessary to either repair it or replace it. But the different kinds of enemies that you'll be facing in this game, sometimes if you come across a bird's nest, they'll attack you, and so you'll have to contend with that. There are a bunch of these little prairie dogs that are sort of on the island. They're nasty little buggers. They'll bite you. They're nothing all that hard. One or two hits will usually kill them. Just right-clicking, holding, and throwing will usually kill them as well. But again, I'm playing on the easy difficulty setting. I don't know if they have more health on the harder difficulty settings. But like everything else in this game, interacting with them to harvest them requires time. And because it's difficult to judge the time of day sometimes, so it's very easy to get caught out in the rain, and being caught out in the rain can cause the flu, and then not treating that because you don't have any hibiscus plants or whatever, that can turn into flu 2, then flu 3, and then you've got, oh man, I gotta run all the way back home. So I recommend building little outposts here and there. One complaint that I do have with this game is that there are rocks everywhere, but you can only take resources from particular spots. So even though there's rocks on the beach and rocks in the mountains and rocks here, rocks on the ground, rocks are everywhere. But there's only 1 or 2 areas, where there are designated gathering areas, and they don't get removed. They're in a fixed location, and the game will regenerate those resources after, say, 9 or 10 days. So if you've completely cleared out all the crabs on the beach, or all of the wood from this type of tree, you'll have to wait 10 days before those resources regenerate. So you're going to have to move around the island and explore a bit to find alternate sources. And that's another complaint. Wood. There are 3 or 4 different types of trees that I've come across so far that offer different kinds of wood. There are particular trees that give branches, like little branches. Then there are trees that give long sticks. And then there are trees that give big branches. And then there are trees that give flexible branches or flexible wood. I'm like, so you've got all of these different tree types scattered around the map. And so rather than like just going up to a forest and collecting all of these different branch types, you are forced to run around and spend half the day trying to find all of this stuff. It's annoying. Like all these rocks, and I have to get it from a little pile. It happened to me on the first half an hour that I played this game. The game led me to a rock location, but I forgot where it was, and I needed it to repair my axe, and I needed rocks. But I couldn't map anything because I didn't have the charcoal, I didn't have the resources, so I couldn't find the rocks. So I spent a half an hour trying to find these stupid rocks. Meanwhile, they were all around me, but I have to take those rocks. Very specific. But anyway, that's a complaint I have. Like, it's just so weird. Everything has a fixed location, and you have to go to those locations to get those resources. So the main goal of the game so far is the exploration. There is survival, obviously, but you're going to be exploring the immediate island around you. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to travel to other islands as well. But for the most part, it's all about getting around this island and finding points of interest and advancing the story. And I have 5 hours into this so far. I have come across some interesting points of interest. I don't want to spoil too much for you, but like, yeah, like it's okay. But getting to these locations is, I would say, both scripted and tough. Mainly because like the game knows that you're going to be traveling up this ravine to get here. So they throw like 2 or 3 snakes in the grass, or they put a bunch of prairie dogs, obviously, or a bunch of like thorned bushes, and so you have to cut them down or just run through them. Like, so these are scripted things. The game knows you have to go that way, so they throw stuff in your path. So it's little things like that kind of like, really, they had to throw something there, because of course they did. But still, I am somewhat interested in the story. I want to learn more about, I want to see if there's like any surviving crew members. I want to see if I finally find the Fountain of Youth. You know, I'm retracing the steps of, you know, people that have been here before. So I am interested in seeing the rest of the story. It's just sometimes, because the day goes by so quickly, I'll be up in the mountains exploring, and then the sun's going down. But if I do anything in the dark, there's a chance of injury. Oh, I'm running through the grass at night. This is awful, because snakes will just bite me, and scorpions will sting me, and then I'll be really... So it's like, I feel like the main challenge of this game is creating outposts everywhere so that you have a safe haven no matter where you are. And that's what I'm trying to do right now in my current playthrough. But I like the idea that, you know, I'll be exploring various caves and learning more about the story. And I do like the survival element. I haven't really been hard up for water or food at this point, because I've been saving a lot of things. And again, it's on easy. But anyway, do I recommend this game? Yeah. Again, I've only got 5 hours into it so far, and I feel like I've got a lot of excitement and playtime. It's definitely I'm telling my own story as I go, you know, being close to death and nearly finding this cave, and then running around the beach for half an hour like an idiot because I forgot where the one rock spawn was. Even though there's all these rocks around me, I have to find that one rock spawn in order to, you know, it's just little things like that. And I like the detail to the status effects, like, you know, being out in the sun too long, sunburn. So you got to go find shade and sit there for a while and regenerate. I love stuff like that. So the game is early access, so more stuff will get added to it over the course of time, but I am looking forward to coming back to this one. I'm really enjoying my experience. Well, with that being said, this is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you all next time. Take care.